Samantha entered the veranda of their luxurious resort suite in Amalfi, Italy. Her exposed shoulders were coated in a honey-like substance as the sun set. The sea below was lit up by a shimmering effect. Behind her, within that extravagant room, was a marriage that had been dormant for an extended period. Her spouse, David, a successful businessman who is emotionally distant, had accompanied her on a business trip. Nevertheless, he remained in meetings and phone calls for the entirety of the day, scarcely acknowledging her presence. He murmured, "I suggest you get a massage or something." He did not raise his head. Samantha forced a smile and sipped her wine. She was aware that she was still desirable with her long legs, sun-kissed complexion, and dreamy eyes. David was once driven insane by her passion. It was now time and money that had replaced affection with conference calls. She donned a red dress that was both seductive and elegant, but it was not intended for David. She desired to be observed. To desire. She was unaware that the evening would transform her life. The resort lounge was illuminated by a warm amber radiance and the gentle sounds of slow jazz. Samantha was alone, holding a martini, when two males entered. A business associate of David, Julian, had just arrived for a summit. He was the first to arrive. She was tall, elegant, and possessed a silvery gaze that dwelt on her body for an extended period. Leo, David's youthful assistant, was the second. He was barely 30 years old, lean, muscular, and had a gaze that burned. He had been stealing glimpses since breakfast, but now, in the golden light, he was not concealing it. "David abandoned a beauty such as yourself?" Julian's diction was silky smooth. She smirked. "Perhaps he believes that I am mature enough to avoid causing trouble." "And what if you desire to cause trouble?" With his gaze fixated on her lips, Leo added his voice. Julian laughed. "Bolder than I anticipated, this one." She felt her pulse accelerate. The martini was nearly consumed. However, she was experiencing an additional form of intoxication. 11 p.m. David informed his employer via text message that he would be tardy as a result of an emergency appointment. Samantha smiled, placed her phone down, and stood. Leo extended his hand. "Would you like to take a stroll on the beach?" Julian also stated, "I have a selection of high-quality wine in my suite." She examined both of them. Her heart was pounding. "What if we all ascend?" she inquired. No one objected. Julian's suite overlooked the ocean. 3 glasses were filled with red wine. The sound of waves echoed her respiration, which was shallow and accelerating. Leo kissed her initially, his lips unyielding and his appetite raging. Julian followed, using his fingertips to trace her vertebrae, which caused her skin to glisten. The red garment unraveled. She was bare, breathless, and on fire as she stood between them. Julian kissed her neck. Leo kneeled before her, his lips grazing her thigh in a manner reminiscent of velvet thunder. She was inundated by the way they touched her, their hands and their tongues, and she moaned in response. Julian kissed her mouth, his eyes fixed on hers as Leo penetrated her from behind, slowly and deeply. She had never experienced such a profound sense of possession. Each thrust, each gasp, tore through the final remnants of morality. Julian's arms were entwined around Samantha when she awoke. Leo, who was shirtless, brewed coffee while smiling. Julian murmured, kissing her shoulder, "I never sleep with someone twice unless they drive me insane for some reason." David harbored no suspicions. They consumed brunch. He inquired as to why she appeared to be so radiant. She simply grinned. They reconvened that evening, this time in Leo's quarters. She secured her wrists with silk shawls. Julian sat across, observing her groan in the candlelight as Leo moved slowly and powerfully within her. They made a change. Julian was composed and authoritative. Wild and unyielding Leo. The storm's eye was Samantha, who was adored, venerated, and completely undone. She cried out their names repeatedly, reaching a climax. She had transformed into something novel, something both divine and perilous. David's curiosity intensified. "You vanish at night," he stated. What is your destination? Faintly, Samantha smiled. I am merely recalling my capacity to experience emotions. During that evening, Julian stated, you have the option of selecting one of us or neither. However, I will accompany you to Paris if you remain. Leo grasped her hand. You are not required to depart from David. Please refrain from departing tonight. She gazed between them. Her lips parted in a slow, malicious smile. Tonight is for both. Their final evening together was consumed by flames. They engaged in sexual intercourse as though the universe were closing in on them. She was repeatedly undone. The crashing waves outside drowned out moans, laughter, and weeping. David was never informed. Samantha and her spouse returned to the United States, but Samantha's eyes were shrouded in a mystery that no one could identify. Julian sent a single message. I am waiting in Paris if you still remember Amalfi. In his email to David, Leo left a single line, P.S. Tell Samantha I miss her smile. However, he did not say anything. She eliminated it. She deactivated her mobile device. She gazed at her reflection. A woman who had plummeted, but also one who had flown. The story's just beginning. There are more broken hearts and dark secrets ahead. Hit like, subscribe, and keep exploring with Love Missteps.